Welcome everyone, this is Pineleaf News and you are listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Andang,
Hey, everybody.
Terry Adwin,
Hi, hi.
Maven,
Hey, y'all.
Aerithert,
Hello, everybody.
and Carvette.
At your service and your families.
And this week the main bit of news is that we will have world transfers off of Gilrain on starting September 28th, and that Rittermark will open for them on September 29th. I can only figure that they have decided to open them up on 2 separate days so that we don't have everybody trying to have a transfer right at the same minute, which is what happened 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I don't understand people. I mean, you can wait, right? You can wait. It's just not like you must transfer within 24 hours of the server being available. I mean, I just don't understand that. It's just weird to me that people would just
there's
like
going to be
immediately
so
want
many
to
other
transfer.
people with your name that you have to try. Yeah.
Or is it
Well,
a
there's
people
that.
That
to
would be
find
the reason.
housing?
I got it. Okay, that would be the reason.
There's housing, but I also
Right.
think that some of these folks have been waiting with like eager anticipation for months now, and they're just chomping at the bit to get to this
They want to
new
get it over and
wonderland.
done with.
Wherever, yeah, exactly. And I can understand that.
Yeah. Okay.
And Barnabas
All
in
right.
the chat is going names. Yeah, it's all about the names.
It's a names.
It really is.
It's all
It's
about
all
the name.
about the names. About the names. Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry.
Like
Name
waiting for
dropping.
Christmas. Yeah, pretty much.
Like waiting for Christmas.
And also this week, we have Borer now up, and the big thing for the upcoming update is that the new LOTRO store is now available for preview.
Awesome.
Oh, Terry, you wrote the article, so how about you start?
I wrote the article. So yeah, new stuff in the store. New store looks good. I watched Andang's video also, which is in the article. But honestly, I'm more excited about the fact that you can preview Fall Festival cosmetics, and they look awesome. We have a new dress. We have a new dress for the first time in I don't even
I
remember
want a
how long.
screenshot. Take a screenshot next time
There's,
you're on.
it's up on Twitter. It's
It
up on
is,
Twitter.
Oh,
I'll
is it?
see if I can dig it up. Or Elda's in our chat. Elda can dig it up.
Oh, okay, cool.
But yeah, new store looks like it's going to be very streamlined, way easier to find things, easier to add to change your quantities, and also different currencies, including like some Subway gift cards, which is a little strange. But okay, now I can ask people for like Subway gift cards, and they don't look at
No,
me weird when I
it
tell
makes total sense, Terry. See, the
Yeah.
no, listen to me. The only competition for Lotro was people actually going out into the real world and exercising at Subway.
them. There you
And
go.
Turbine knows that if you get a Subway gift card, you're probably going to go out and start exercising and stop playing games altogether. And so they knew that if they take that away and take it away from Jared, that then people would be hooked on Lotro for life. And so clearly, it's an all-out war against Subway. Just Subway doesn't know it.
And Amazon. Huh? You can use like an Amazon gift card, huh?
Yeah.
It just seems like they're really trying to broaden all the different ways that people can pay for different things.
I don't see
because,
Bitcoin
I mean,
in here. Where's the
Question.
Bitcoin?
well, you know, who knows? I mean, I know that Lotro's got an international audience, and I have heard more than one story of somebody over in the UK or the Netherlands or wherever having an issue paying with some sort of payment. So
Yeah.
the more options they can negotiate, the better. I mean, it's only a matter of time before they start using dragon scales and goblin ears. I mean, whatever barter system works.
Mookie in the chat says, why would people exercise at Subway? Well, what they don't tell you, and there's actually been reporters that have reported on this in the past, is that Subway actually is not the thing that made Jared lose weight. It was the fact that he had to walk 6 miles or however long to Subway to eat there and then walk back.
I didn't know that
Anything?
was the detail, but I did hear that he didn't really lose
How
weight.
long did you practice that Subway bit?
I did that all on the fly.
That's even scarier.
But the other option is that somebody at Turbine really likes Subway, and they're just wanting to get your Subway cards to use themselves at Subway, and Subway's not really involved in this. That's the other alternative. I do know though that John Smith is not very happy because he has 0 Turbine points right now in this preview images. So poor John Smith.
Poor John.
Oh, well. All right. And now let's go into the old store where we have our store sales available.
Oh, segue, man, that was great.
That was awesome.
Terry?
Terry's like, dress, store.
What a way to ruin a
Dress.
transition.
Sorry, I was looking at the dress again. It's seriously like for me, it's like the biggest news of the week. Free sample of the week, September 25th through October 1st, is a Skill and Slayer Deed Boost ×1 use coupon code SKSLB, one time per account. And we have 25% off Legendary Slot Unlock, Legendary Legacy Tier Upgrades, Legacy Scroll Combination, Relic Removal Scroll. We're Legendary crap.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
So where do you go to in order to look at this dress?
It's on Twitter, and so if you're in the chat, you will see a link to it because Eldilith helpfully pulled it up. It's extremely nice looking, and it dyes beautifully.
And Terry, can you add that to the show notes
Except
in the
I
news
will
section?
add it to the show notes.
Cool.
Well, except the Mixer keeps shortening the URL, so it makes it not possible to put it into Twitter, but okay.
You can just click on it and it links.
Oh, that's a thought. Just click on it. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty exciting.
But
All
finally,
right.
if you can't look at it, because then we will never get this show done. So.
All right, let's head into the site news then, and we'll begin with Tales of the Free Folk episode 2 will be right after this, so therefore we have the episode 2 prologue now available.
Yes, Greymaster did a great job continuing our frame narrative with the Bard, helping us remember some of the things that happened, and also giving a few hints towards the next week. So it's pretty good if you're interested in learning about what went on in a nice little summary, and also what might be coming up next. Be sure to check out the prologue. Plus, it's funny.
All right, and speaking of funny, Lily Cade had an episode of Small Lotro Adventures where she was heading out into the Barrow Downs with Bingo Boppin, and as you can imagine, Bingo Boppin isn't exactly someone who likes to go into scary places like the Barrow Downs. And we also have another episode of Lotro Videos Highlights, Lost in the Fire.
So, this is probably one of my top 10 videos, at least in the last while. I mean, there's been a lot of them over the course of like over a year now. But
You change your top
this,
10 every single week, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's always in its top 10.
But this one is really great. It shows Archit before and after. And there's a moment, which I'm not going to spoil, but there's one moment in particular where it shows before and after, and it's just absolutely hilarious with a certain NPC that might have gotten out of something. And it's really, really funny. And it's just the song fits it perfectly. They did some great editing, and it's a great, great thing. And if everyone knows about Archit, because that's the first thing you have to do in the game, unless you're a hobbit. But I think
Well,
even they go
actually,
there eventually.
Hobbits spend a bit of time in Archit. It's the elves and dwarves that.
Elves and dwarves, yeah,
there.
that's right. So, but half the
No,
population.
the
has
other
made it
hobbits.
through. The other hobbits, the really tall hobbits.
The really tall hobbit. All right, and we have another episode of the Family Line, Part 60, A Shot in the Dark.
So I'm guessing it wasn't a visit to the doctor's office during a blackout.
Oh boy.
It is fan fiction, so you never know, Carl. That was the best pine leaf reaction ever.
That was excellent.
It's great.
It is nice to get like more Evandeem stuff. Like the storyline in Evandeem in the game is cool, but I feel like there's so much more stories in Evandeem that can be told, and this is cool. I like how they do it. I like how it's done.
All right. And Lily Kate Buggins has released a public song library. This is a subset of her performance library, which has pieces. It's a sampler of pieces all the way from a pair of solos all the way up to a couple of 24 player pieces. And 24 is, as far as I know, as large as you can get for any playing in the LOTRO system, since everybody has to be within the same raid or
which
fellowship in
is
order to
awesome.
do
Which
it.
is awesome.
And since I was a member of her orchestra that she was doing last year, yes, I know what you can do with 24 players when they get together. But if you have only one or two, she also has some pieces in there for them.
This is awesome. If anybody out there is kind of interested in the music system in Lotro and wants to kind of get started, you need to check this out. It's really, really simple to do and to install music files on for your Lotro, and then you can just play them. As long as you have an instrument, you can play the music files. If you get a friend and you both have the music file, you can both play the instruments together, and it's a lot of fun.
And you don't have to be a minstrel to play an instrument.
Right.
Everybody can play an instrument.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The minstrels can teach you some
And
of the ones you
most
like.
classes have access to two instruments. Obviously, the minstrel has many more.
I think like
It's the
everyone can play the
lute.
lutes. Yeah.
Everyone has access to the lute, and some of the classes have access to the horn, and others have access to the clarinet. And of course, you could also be trained by a minstrel to mentored in one of the in additional instruments.
And there
I
are
think
lots.
it's one of the best parts about being a guardian. This is totally not true, but it's a nice part about being a guardian because you can play the saxophone. Seriously, the horn sounds like a
It
saxophone.
does
It's
sound like a
amazing.
saxophone.
Was it the
Like
Um,
horn?
I really want to heal on a saxophone on my minstrel when horn on my minstrel when it gets higher level. Like their horns don't really do much anything at lower levels, but at the top, they're all music. The instruments are all the same, and you can just pick basically the sound that you want. And
yeah.
I'm gonna heal on a saxophone.
That's good
TableNet Dragon
because
uses a pipgorn.
I've been running with a lute on my mini because the sound of just about everything else drives me crazy right now.
Yeah, this week's Lotro conspiracy theory, our new segment, is that I think the reason they limited the instruments is that
Wait, you're
so
saying besides the subway thing?
besides the subway thing,
Okay.
is
Yeah, there's
so that they limit the instruments so that not everyone has a pipcorn. I'm pretty sure, like the rest is
Oh,
all a
I've been
facade. The real reason was just so that there's a limit on the pipcorn.
on my minstrel. You know, you have the deed to teach people the instrument. I just run around and like find a random person, and then boom, congratulations, you now know the pipgorn. Enjoy that, and then
I think
You'll
I'm
be
gonna
the only
congratulate
one.
anyone in another instrument other than pipgorn.
I think
It's
I'm gonna
like,
have to do that.
you're welcome. Bye.
That's awesome.
It's terrible.
Now, Lily Kate
Pipgorn
was
tutoring help.
also involved in playing some music today, where she was part of an event, which actually I also was in that event with her, where we played some music over Arnor. This was at Amon Wraith in the North Downs. And this was in celebration of the anniversary of the opening of the Russian servers. Now, while the Russian servers are no longer up, they decided to continue the anniversary celebration over on Landreval, since many of the Russian players have migrated over to Landreval after the closing of the Russian servers. So it was nice to see that there is still a Russian community around despite the fact that the servers are no longer here.
Yeah, that's good.
Makes sense. A lot of them moved.
And we also have a new Lotro poet, and this is by Nim.
This was awesome. I actually really like this because, I mean, it's true. Like you see a lot of like elf hunter, elf lore master, elf rune keeper, and just like elf guardians. What? You know, I mean, you don't see it very often, comparatively speaking, and it's cool. Like how she acknowledges it. It was like this is different than normal. It was really cool. I liked it a lot.
I don't know, I was still trying to wrap my head around though having a poem. It's a rather meter. I have no trouble wrapping my head around the meter of this poem because the lines are different size. But then having a prose chorus to the poem.
It works
That's the
finely.
thing.
I think it's cool.
That's a
All
thing.
right.
One thing that I think is interesting, though, is that who is the elf guardian protecting? Because it's not dwarves. That's a guarantee.
Stay tuned.
It's probably not men because they're just leaving and aren't going to see them anytime soon. And most hobbits are still in the Shire. So who's the elf guardian really protecting?
Oh,
That's.
it's all about them cute hobbits, man.
This could be, she could be an old elf. The royal guard could be like way all the way back to like Thingol or whatever his name is.
All right.
It didn't say whose royalty.
All right. Let's see if I could successfully read this. She, Nimglaliel, strode through the throne room with the warrior guards. Summoned by the king, she strode, step for step, with the king's heir, his son. Nimglaliel looked round to know she, the only she-elf in the room, had earned the right long ago, defending the queen, to be there. Other females were content with elfin mysteries. They saw fighting for elf males to do. She, Nimglaliel, stood alone. Throne right, the king's son stood to her left, her hand on the hilt of her treasured dagger, gifted in death throes by her father. At once the king strode to the throne. Everyone smartly bowed. She knew that look on his scar-worn face. They were all prepared for war. She would be a warrior like her father, the captain of the royal guard. The day he and her elf mother were slain, they were attacked by an opposing kingdom. Her father fought till he could stand no more. The murderers left them all for dead. But Ninglaliel faked death to live. As the attackers left, she ran to her dying father, who took his dagger, thrust it into her imploring hands, and without a word, she knew her fate. She slipped, she she slipped to the gods, leaving Nimglariel, the she-elf, to seek revenge as a royal guard. She would prevail, for when any man gloats that he will enjoy killing a woman and her destiny, it is his moment of weakness.
Awesome. So awesome, Pineleaf, that next week you can read 3 of these because it's currently scheduled on the calendar to have 3 of these a week. So.
What?
Maybe we'll have to rotate so finally it doesn't overload.
Yeah.
Or we might pick 1 out of the 3 next week. But still, this is amazing. Fantastic job, Nim. Great to see you starting a new series.
And while we start a new series, we of course, Leondir continues the series on the House of Bjorn, and we're up to chapter 11, Into Darkness, Into War.
Boy, those rolling blackouts are affecting all of Eriador, aren't they?
Yes.
It's that whole Dawnless Day thing. It just keeps
Yeah,
moving
this
around.
Dawnless.
You know what? I wonder if there's like a server bug that the Dawnless Day just keeps migrating from region to region.
That would be awesome.
Well,
Could
you've
you
got-
imagine the Dawnless Day in Bree?
Well, can you imagine the Dawnless Day being coupled with the 4-kill fog bug?
Oh my god.
Oh,
We'd all be
good
smashing
grief.
our faces into everything. And I've noticed that the graphics have been kind of glitching on my machine where you see like green grass in the lone lands and you see frosty bushes and Bree land. And so, I mean, it's like the weather system in Middle Earth has gone nuts.
All right. And we also have another installment of Piney's Pictorial Primer to Skirmishing. And this time we have Attack at Dawn. And my theme for this month is probably for the second or third time in doing the series is, yes, I revamped my morale system again.
Well, now you have to go back to the previous skirmishes that you've already done, Pineleaf, to make sure that it.
Well, yes, there is that. I
He
think
still
I'm going
has
to
to
wait a
fix
couple
that
of
typo
more.
in Tuckborough.
Hmm?
You still have to fix that typo in the Tuckborough one.
Typo in Tuckborough. That sounds like a Hobbit murder mystery. Gather round, children, and I'll tell you the tale of the typo in Tuckborough.
I pointed out that his
Murder
map
the Hobbit
was
wrote.
labeled incorrectly.
Murder the Hobbit wrote.
I like how Carv said mm-hmm and then realized what I said and then laughed. Just like to point that out.
I just. Jessica Fletcher.
All right. With that, we will head into the new player question. And Maven, what's up this week?
I guess I should unmute myself. Okay, so you're in battle, you're in combat, either on your own or with a fellowship. You notice that either your morale bar is going down very rapidly or one of your fellows is going down very rapidly. You go, oh my gosh, oh, I'm about to die, or one of my fellows is about to die. What class/race traits or skills can be used in the 11th hour to try to turn that situation around?
A lot.
Alt F4. No, just kidding.
I know it's a big question because we've got a lot of combinations there, but it's like
We should
this
talk about
actually
race
is from
stuff
one of my
first.
kin mates brought this up. I mean, he brought it up because he's kind of going through this, and the thing is, it's kind of like you got to learn this for your race and for your class so that you kind of have them. You know, maybe there's like a special place in your quick slots that you put it or something.
Right.
Because when you're in the heat of battle, it's like you forget, and then you're dead, and then afterwards you're like, "Ooh, I could have used that."
Oh,
so,
yes.
Anyway.
I have a section in my upper right section of my quick slots is where I keep all those.
All
oh
those.
my, something's really
Oh,
bad.
crap skills.
That's
There.
where
All
I
those
have mine
up-
too.
Oh no.
Okay,
Starting
that's a
with
really good idea.
racials. Hobbits have the notorious Hobbit flop.
Yes.
And
Yes.
basically you fake death and people, critters will leave you alone. Race of Men has the man heal,
Yep.
which is a pretty significant heal. Well,
It's
lower
2,000
levels.
to
At lower levels,
3,000.
yeah.
At lower levels, it's like 2,000 to 3,000, so that can really save your bacon up to 60s. And then you're looking at with the elves. I don't know, the elves have like a really big evade buff, don't they?
Yeah.
And then with dwarves, there's endurance of stone, which gives you like a plus 50% mitigations or like halves your damage or something. It's pretty involved.
Can
Yeah,
elves
so
use
that's-
beneath notice in combat? I don't think they can they?
Yes.
Oh, they can.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it
Doesn't-
really
It
depends.
doesn't do the same thing
for-
as Hobbit flop, but
That's
at least
that's a class thing.
Right. That's
Right.
a
So
class.
that's class.
thing.
So we're just
That's
talking
not
races at that
specific
point.
to elves.
The first thing we were saying was races. The beneath notice is just a hunter skill. So if you see something big, scary, and ugly making straight for you that you don't want to have make straight for you, boink, hit beneath notice, and it should
Got
go back
it.
to
Okay.
the
I was
darkness
thinking
from
elves
whence
had
it came.
something similar to that. I thought elves had a. Maybe not. Okay.
Elves have
No,
the
elves
ability
have
to
a
stealth,
stealth,
but
but
it's a
it's-
free combat thing, and it only lasts.
Ah, I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I mean,
Sylvan Shadows.
it depends
Silver
on your
Shadow.
class. I know, like for Guardians, which is the character that I have the most experience with, you have some pretty sweet oh crap keys, depending on what's going on. Especially in Blue Line, you have some skills that will heal for up to 50% of your morale, or 59% actually. I think.
Yeah, I mean, basically, all the healing classes have skills to save
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah,
I think we can
most
say
classes,
that to
most
skip a
classes
line.
have skills to save themselves, and then the healing classes usually have skills to save other people
Mm-hmm.
as well, which is a lot of fun.
And so,
So I must be missing something. I mean, besides beneath notice, I can't think of anything that my hunter has that could save herself. At the 11th.
Desperate Flight.
Well, yeah, there is desperate flight. Yes, that's always a possibility.
Yeah, but let's face it, Desperate Flight, all that Desperate Flight does is it makes you from likely going to the red circle to guaranteed
Definitely
to go
going
to the
to
red
the
circle.
rest.
Right.
But
Well,
with no
Plus,
repair
as
bill.
I have shared before, I have discovered that in the areas where there is mounted combat, going to Desperate Flight doesn't guarantee you anything because I had Warg Riders come to me in the res circle after Desperate Flight and kill me. So it's like, whoa, wait a minute, dudes. I thought this was like safe. I thought it was like, King's X. Nope, wrong.
Nope.
well, and like, there's also try to fear the enemy skills. Like the mini has one. I
Right.
think the
Mhm.
champion has one. So there's a lot
No,
of
champion doesn't have one.
options. The champion used to have one, maybe.
No.
Yeah.
And like
It must
Hunter
be
has
potion.
part
we
zero.
We used to have something, but we don't
But-
have it
Yeah.
anymore.
It does like
I mean,
for
there's the
Guardians
stuns
you
and
have
stuff too,
you
but
have
in the 11th hour stuff, stuns aren't really. I mean, if you're losing
Well,
it,
if you
or-
stun and then do several heals, then you can do that, but you
Yeah,
have to have those heals is the thing.
They actually
depends.
made it a couple updates back that if you stun it, it pops you out of the auto attack, so you have to like re-auto. So if you, because all of the stuns will break on damage, so if you
right.
stun, you can actually take the opportunity to run.
Yeah.
The
Different
success
thought.
of which may vary, but
No, it's handy. It's really handy on a guardian because especially if you're running red line, you can hit your sprint key or charge or whatever it is, and then if you do an AoE attack, everything you hit will fall down, and it's quite
Yeah.
amusing actually.
Wow.
It's very
And then
fun.
you
It really
can,
is.
because you still have sprint up, you can like pull Sir Robin and book it
Yeah.
if you need to.
Bravely ran away.
Now,
Yeah,
I've also
basically.
been really impressed watching Carve play a burglar, the healing aspect of the burglar, which I don't think a lot of people. I think a lot of people miss that because I know when we're fighting with two angry hobbits and the well-dressed man that you're able to really keep some heals on us.
well, he's in yellow currently, and a lot of
Yeah.
that is specific to that trait line.
Yeah.
Oh, got
Yellow
Um,
Bergs
you
have the
you get
ability to like.
some in blue, I think. You get
No, not
nothing in
really.
red. You get
Not
nothing Fellowship
Fellowship.
I
related
mean,
in red.
I can heal
I'm saying that
myself
it
in
impresses
yellow.
me because I'm the minstrel. So, I'm the one that should be
Yeah,
healing, but
yeah.
I'm like,
She's the
whoa, he's
one
doing really
nuking
good job.
everything, and the burglar's over here going, yeah. I'll throw out some heals. It's okay. I'll save your bacon. Oh, it's going sideways. Hips. See ya. I tried to heal you, but Guardian
Actually,
wasn't thinking. No.
I can honestly say I've never actually seen Carve do that. I've done it on my burglar with the Tuesday group.
You do
I've
it
been
on your warg.
I do it on my work all
Well,
the
yeah,
time.
yeah,
But
but that's
I do
that's
it too.
required.
I get
Yeah.
that habit on my work from having done it on the burglar. They would pull stuff that was a little too hairy, and I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm out of here, bye." And they would all die, and I'd be like 3 counties over, going, "Ha ha 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 ha!"
Looking for the chests. Yeah.
Yeah, looking for the loot.
Now let's see. Have we gone through? What about Pine Leaf Warden? So you said you had your quick slot set up. So what do you use as a warden for 11th hour?
All right. Let's see. The problem I have Never Surrender
Right.
is always set up, and what Never Surrender does is if I get down to about, I think it's 5%, then it automatically pops up a pretty nice heal. Though I found out that very often if I'm in a situation where I absolutely positively need Never Surrender, I'm usually hit with two consecutive very big shots. The first one that pops Never Surrender, and the second one that kills me. So it's not always effective, but Never Surrender does get me out of some tight jams on that matter. I Usually I just try to pay attention enough to the morale so I could switch to using heals instead of trying to hurt stuff for a while before switching back to it. But when that doesn't work very often, yeah, Never Surrender is useful. And that's the only one I could think. Warden skills tend to be of the type of you need to plan.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they have very few true reactions. I mean, even Never Surrender, you set up in advance, and then it pops later. So it's a matter of preparation is the keystone to the Warden, and I'm surprised I'm able to survive in that class because
Yeah, that sounds well. And also, who has Do Not Fall this day? Which is the class that has that they put that
That's
on?
That's
the
Rune
Runekeeper.
Keeper.
That's a
Okay.
pre-combat skill.
And that's also a pre-combat thing, right? That's also
Yeah.
another thing you have to plan ahead for.
Not necessarily pre-combat, but definitely pre-death.
Yeah, you gotta put that thing out there and keep it up. Remember to make sure you refresh it so that it stays on.
got it.
Whoever needs it,
Right.
like the tank.
Right. Right.
Interesting
I-
side note about that skill, it will pop a burglar out of stealth.
Really?
Yeah.
Which is irritating to the burglar.
It's
Right.
extremely irritating to the burglar, and the guy who played the Runekeeper in our Tuesday group got a real kick out of it.
yeah,
You mean,
Yeah.
but you mean if the
I
Runekeeper
speak-
targets the burglar, it pops the burglar out of stealth,
When
or just
if the Runekeeper uses that skill on the burglar, it will pop the
Ah,
burglar out of stealth, and it drove me absolutely up the wall.
Oh,
Mhm.
is that one of
I
those
speak I
bubbles?
speak from actual experience of this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. It's hard to, I guess it's hard to hide when you got this bubble surrounding you, glowing green.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Bottom
So now,
line,
did I
yes,
hear tell
every
that the champion doesn't really have much of anything?
Not
We
Well,
have
the
really
main
The
thing is
anymore.
to
champs
kill
got some
Psychology
first.
good
and
ones.
bracing attack, and in Blue Line you get quite a bit more. They used to have a lot of
Right.
bubbles, but yeah, not so much
Yeah.
now.
So the bottom line is every racing class has something. So
yeah.
best to figure out what that is and then put it in a special spot on your screen so you know where to go to when you're in the moment and the adrenaline's flowing. Boom.
And
Yeah, like
sometimes
Right.
it's
Cry
even
of the Hunter is your friend, Maven.
Yes, that is my friend actually. Private
and
Hunter.
honestly, a lot of times it's helpful to get yourself into hairy situations so you know how to handle them before you have to handle them. Like I'm gonna go pull more people than I'm pretty sure I can take. So, I mean, basically every just about every class has something, and it's just a matter of learning how to use it, pretty much.
All right, then let's go into our week in Lotro. And Arether, what is your highlight for this week?
I've been doing a lot of creeping. Lots and lots of
Ooh,
creeping.
creepy.
I'm about halfway to rank 10 on my warg, which I'm excited about. And I got a little bit of time in on my Defiler and War Leader, both of which are rank 6. The Defiler is a lot further ahead. I ended up going and redoing all of their traits and stuff like that, and I spent like 6,000 commendations, and I was all excited. I was like, yeah, I got cool new, like, I have over 100,000 morale now. That'll help a lot. And then I looked at my commendations, and it was like 43, and I was like, dang it. But yeah, basically lots and lots of PvP this week.
All right. And Dang Song?
Dang song. It's and dang pine leaf. Come on. But yes, I do play a character named Dane Song, and they did a skirmish stream that you were actually on, Pineleaf, along with Terry Adwin. So thank you guys for joining me on that. And we streamed for about 3 hours, going through a bunch of skirmishes, leveling up because all of a sudden the levels for Bingo Boffin have been increasing more and more. So
Well, they've been going up by two per week
has
lately.
it still been? I guess it's just taking longer to level is the difference. So the quests give you
Yeah.
less
Yeah.
and less XP relative to your level, kind of a thing. So. But yeah, went through that and gained 7 levels, so it was pretty good.
Ooh.
Nice.
Awesome. It's fun. You ping somebody to test something, and they're like, "Hey, I'm streaming." Oh, hi guys.
Yeah,
It's
Carv
like,
was
oh
testing
man, thanks, stream.
his new webcam, and so he just randomly like calls me on a Google Hangout, and I'm like, Carv, you
I'm
can't do that
streaming.
right now.
Oh my
And so I had
god.
him call me on Skype, not knowing that I was streaming, and
Everybody in chat's like, "Hey, Carvin." I'm like, "Oh, hi."
so all of a sudden I just see like this Carv image in the top corner of my screen while I'm trying to like play through a skirmish. But no, that was a lot of
I'm
fun,
not
and glad you got a new
responsible.
camera.
Okay,
Um,
Maven?
Well, it's been a rough week in Lake Wobegon, in real life for the old Maven. So I had not a whole lot of stuff going on this week in game. This is how bad real life is I was like low motivated to play this week, which is really strange for me. But I did have a really great highlight. Um, During the Academy field trip yesterday with Draculetta and Pineleaf and Terry and we went into Moria and started Moria. And I had been earlier in the day with Grifflet on my mini in Gartha Garwin and had been like, oh gosh, I'm moving so slowly, and I wish I could, I wish I had my hunter, and I wish I was running faster. So I'm in Moria, and I'm like doing the same thing. I'm like, God, I wish I had my leafy feet. It'd be so nice to be able to run faster. And I said it out loud. I said, gee, I wish I had my leafy feet. And I went, wait, I'm a hunter. I mean, I'd been using my boner. I'd been shooting stuff. I'd been doing all that stuff. And I don't know why. It was like, I was like, oh, I'm a hunter. I can use leafy feet. So anyway, maybe you had to be there, but it was pretty dang funny. That was my highlight.
That's awesome.
All right. Corvette, what have you been up to?
Oh, there's a lot of things going on, but really been working on my Arkenstone Minstrel, and for the first time today, and like pretty much ever, with the exception of my off healing on the burglar, I was the main healer for a 3-man. Ran through the Garth Argoin Arboretum with a completely fresh off the boat warden who had never tanked or fellowship before, and a nearly fresh off the boat minstrel who had never healed before, and a burglar that knew what they were doing. So we only wiped twice, but I learned that wardens are kind of squishy unless they know what they're doing. Because
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
the
You have to learn
burglar,
your
the
right.
burglar had a main like a level cap warden, so the burglar was giving the new guy tips, and I was like, okay, that makes sense because I know enough about wardens to kind of give a few bits. But as a minstrel, I was like, man, I'm kind of stinking. So I've learned I gotta do some more healing because that's the only part of the game that I really haven't spent a lot of time doing.
I
Is that
love
I can
healing
DPS
stuff.
and I can tank, but I haven't healed much. And after the first wipe, I was like, okay, that was your fault because you didn't tank well. But the second time, I was like, oh, I pulled the wrong guys. My bad. So yeah,
Carve, I honestly thought you said after the first wife, and I was like, what?
wipe,
I
wipe.
literally almost choked on
Well,
my
I mean,
drink
it's
for a
like
second.
I have run with healers that knew what they were doing when I was the tank, and we do some crazy stuff. And I have no problems as a healer pulling if I know the tank I'm running with has got their stuff together. But this person was new. I was new. I wasn't that confident in my healing, and I know he wasn't confident in his tanking. So it was just like, okay. And then we pull like an accidental two, three more mobs, and that was it, man. We were getting trashed. So
I feel like the
when
one thing I always forget to do on Minstrel is flop.
see, I didn't have that skill yet. So that probably would have flopped. I was like, oh, there's like five mobs beating on him. Oh, I better start an induction. Oh, he's dead. Oh, I'm dead. That was kind of how it went.
All right.
So Terry Adwin, how was your week?
Well, my week was pretty entertaining, but the highlight is that Terry Fluffs is rank 7. Yay! Got some
Yay.
really tasty noms on some Gladden Freeps and a couple of awesome raids. Had a really, really good night the other night. I got into a raid and I was not in the fight. I actually was designated as the scout org. So I was calling out exactly where the Freeps were. And the Freeps sort of kind of knew I was in the area, but didn't know exactly where I was. And nobody could find me, and it was awesome.
All right. And my regular Sunday skirmish group, we decided to run Icy Crevasse at tier 2. And I think we had attempted to do that once before, but this is the first time that we actually succeeded while running tier 2. All our previous successful runs on that skirmish were one, we could do any other skirmish at tier 3, but this one we finally got to the point where we could actually do it at tier. We did have to do the boss fight twice. The first time I got killed, and then of course the group quickly wiped after that. The second time the hunter was the first one to get killed instead. And apparently the healer was no longer distracted, I guess, of having to worry about keeping a hunter alive, so therefore was able to keep up and heal me.
Yeah, that
Because
works.
since runekeepers take a little time in order to get warmed up when they heal, so you either die fast or they could keep you going for a while. And
I had Icy Crevasse bug out on me this week. It was annoying.
yeah, that would be annoying, especially if you're in the middle of the boss fight.
I
And
was. They just stopped fighting and they were standing there and I was stuck in combat and couldn't get out.
Yeah, that was sad. I
It
can
was very
verify
depressing.
that. I saw it. It was disappointing.
And then the next day, um, uh, Into the Forsaken bugged out on me too.
Oh,
those
sorry.
instances just don't like you.
They don't. They don't.
All right, let's head into donations. We currently have 17 supporters on Patreon, and if you would like to join us, this illustrious raid of players to help support LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you could support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you will find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest for an episode of LOTRO Players News. And Andang, how close are we to the next goal?
Yes, we're getting close, Pineleaf. We're just under $4 away still until the next milestone, which is really awesome. So if we can get just a couple $1 supporters even, that would be able to get us over the hump. So really excited about that. And hopefully that can happen. But the next goal is a 1-year VIP for DDO, and then following not too long after that is 1-year VIP for Lotro. So once again, getting close to some really big rewards here.
All right. We did not receive any emails this week, but if you'd like to send us one, you could send it to podcast@lotroplayers.com. You could also follow us at Twitter, the Players Alliance @Players Ally, Lotro Players @Lotro Players, Andang at PVMP_Andang, Arithert at Arithert, Carvet at Carvet LP, Maven at Tolkien Maven, Pineleaf at Pineleaf Needles, and Terry Adwin at Terry Adwin. The Players Alliance has 2 live shows every single week. On Mondays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News. And on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News. And after LOTRO Players News every other week, we do have LOTRO Players News is Tales of the Free Folk. And you can follow that at the lotroplayers.com/live. And what's
There's an
this XP?
announcement, Pineleaf.
All
I
right,
know
and
I
what is this
surprised you
announcement?
about that. As many of you know, as Pineleaf said earlier, we only have 2 more live shows. Well, guess what? There's actually going to be a third one, and I'm even surprising Pineleaf right now because I'm happy to announce that this Thursday we're going to have a test episode, which might end up being our first episode of a brand new show that's going to be a general MMO show. And so basically, every other week, this show will be going on, and it will be talking about a different MMO every other week. And so this new show is going to be called XP Quest, and DJ is going to be the host on it, and we're going to have different people guesting on the show every other week, talking about the MMO of their choice, or if DJ might, tell them something else. But they're going to be talking about MMOs every other week, so it should be a lot of fun, and we're really glad to have this new show, and the chat room's giving a lot of hearts, so looks like that they're excited about it too. So anyway, that's the new announcement. Really excited for this new show.
Very well then. We'll see you on the flip side then. Thank you everyone for listening. This is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.